Nwaobia Ezechimere Jesse is a servant of God with vision, filled with the strong desire and commitment to see young men and women established and succeed by means of insightful teachings, exemplary and pragmatic leadership. He is a successful businessman, an investor, a philanthropist, a success coach who is highly regarded as a priest in the marketplace. Ezechimere is a graduate of the prestigious Enugu State University of Science and Technology, majoring in computer engineering. He is the present managing director of G Plus International Services Limited, with other subsidiaries in agriculture and real estate. He is also the founder of Leadercraft Mentorship and Consulting Limited, a human capacity and leadership development organization built to raise global and economic leaders who will champion the emergence of the new Nigeria we all seek for. Ezechimere is happily married to Mrs. Grace Ezechimere, and they are blessed with three lovely and amazing kids.
I'm here to make a presentation and this presentation will be from my personal experience in the course of doing business transaction. And I'll be anchoring on business life cycle from startup to scale up. We have statistics that have shown us that over 96% of startups don't make it to the next level. I made mention previously that in the United States of America, over 28 million firms are registered, but only 4% has been able to make a revenue of over $1 million. And also, 0.4% has been able to make up to $10 million revenue. If you go forward, about 17,000 only out of the 28 million of all the businesses registered in America has been able to hit above 50 million revenue. It shows that it's not difficult to start up a business, but what is much more important is scaling the business to the next level. So I will be doing a brief on business life cycle from startup to scale up. But I'll give us an overview of business life cycle. Business life cycle, what's the definition of business life cycle? Business life cycle is the progression of a business in phases over time. Progression of business in phases over time. It is expected that our business is developed with time. Typically, we have about 7 phases that are major in business development, and they include the seed phase, the startup, the growth, establishment, expansion, decline, and exit. Each phase or stage of development is characterized by a number of features that seem to be common to most businesses and need to be carefully managed. There is a phase in business life cycle that is not usually captured by many, though very fundamental and critical to every success in life, not just business, but life in general. I choose to call it the seed phase. So we have 7 phases in business life cycle: the seed phase, startup phase, growth, establishment, expansion, decline, and exit. The importance of this presentation is for us to observe and understudy the several stages in business cycle, several stages, characteristics of each stage, so you can know the behavior and how to respond to your business when you discover the stage that you found your business. So stage 1 is the seed phase. The seed phase. This is the stage of vision and conceptualization of business idea, where you conceive business idea and its market acceptance. This is the stage that the core and foundation of every business is formed. At this stage, the gene of every business is copied and transmitted into the life of the business. And anything you are not able to get into the business at this stage will require some superior programming in order to fix it in the future. What I mean, whatever you don't get into your business at this seed phase will be very, very difficult, if not impossible, for you to get it fixed into your business. So it is very, very important that we spend time and then enjoy the process. Many businesses don't thrive, scale up. Also, appropriate investigation into the opportunity the business can explore is an absolute necessity. Whether it can create the name for itself or not, the thing you intend to achieve, there is need for you to investigate critically the opportunity that this business has. Is it able to really do the things you want them to do? I remember those days in the university when we were asked to carry out a project, and then part of the requirement is that there must be a limit to your project. Your project must have a limit. What is the limit of this project? It can do this, it can do that, it can do this. What is it that your business is not able to do? So your ability to know the limits of your business idea will also help you to know the things the business can accomplish. At this stage, the potential of the business must be clear. Just as the seed is important to a farmer, so is this stage important to your development. Because if you don't have a seed, definitely there will not be any harvest. There are several ways we can come to this, but I just want to walk us through to business life cycle. So I go to startup, phase 2, startup. At this stage, the business has come into legal existence by way of registration, and the owner starts implementing the idea. At this stage, the business has come into legal existence. You must have visited the Corporate Affairs Commission to do your registration. Either you register your business as a limited liability or as a business name, depending on the capacity you intend to run. And that is what will determine the share. Supposing the business idea you have is to run an airline, you know that the limited volume of shares should be 500 million shares. So these things should be well spelled out. You must have visited the Corporate Affairs Commission to do justice to that. So legal existence of the business. So you are permitted by law to do business in Nigeria. Now, what are the few things that we need to look into at this stage? I'll give you a picture. Supposing you are a software developer and you have this idea to develop a game. You have the responsibility either to find a marketing company like Sony and then decide to sell your idea to Sony, so they take the whole trouble, marketing, production, packaging, distribution, and what have you, and then pay you royalty, maybe 5% or 10% of the profit, as the case may be, based on your negotiation and the strength of your software. You have a choice to go that route. But if you choose to go the other route as a startup, there are a few things you must think about. You will think about this question: where will you get the money for the things like machinery, telephone, premises, living expenses, until the business takes off as startup? So you intend running a business. I gave you a picture. You can either approach somebody, you can either approach an established organization that is good with what you are intending to produce and sell it to them based on some contractual agreement percentage. They take the whole load off you, then whatever the profit be, you take your share of the profit. That will save you of all these questions that I'm trying to ask. Where will the fund come? Funds such as if you must produce a game, you need a machine, you need a premise, you need to do the marketing. How will you let your customers know that you have a product and how great the product is? That is marketing. The marketing aspect. You would have taken the load off your head if you have sold that idea to already existing business, or you decide to run it yourself as a startup. These are the questions you must answer. How will my customer know what I have? And how will I let them know the kind of product that I have, the potential of the product? Remember, my case study is a game. How will you be able, if your idea is just to sell it to your friends, I can guarantee you that that will not be able to scale. That will not be able to scale. I use myself as an example. I remember when I decided to share my idea with one of my mentors, the first thing he asked me was this: who are the people that will patronize your service? You need to answer this question. If all your idea is centered on having your family members, your friends, and relatives to patronize your service, you will not hit the 4% we are talking about. You know why? How many people do you know? How many products can they buy that can take you to that level? This is one of the reasons many starters don't go beyond that level, because their whole business idea is to sell it either to a brother, a sister, a friend, an uncle, and you know, what quantity will they be able to buy from you? For instance, if it happens to be a television, you know, you buy it once and you may not remember to buy it again for a very long time. So how do you intend to scale? These are the questions you must answer. When you are going into a business, you want to start, who are the people you intend to sell to? If I am the person you have in mind, even if I patronize your service, it may not be regular. It may not give you the numbers that we need. As watchmen, we need numbers. We want to hit the 0.4%. Hallelujah. Did you hear what I said? So you don't just develop business for your family and friends. These questions must be understood. So how will you do it? How is it going to happen? You must answer this question. How will your potential customers get to know about your product and test them? How? If you decide to give them your product for free, do you really have the fund to finance that stage where they begin to try your product and know how effective your product is, and then the moment they gain conviction about your product, then they can come to subscribe? Can you really show that? How will you distribute your product to the final consumer, to the final customer? And also, how long do you think it will be before potential customers know about the product and you start selling enough to cover your startup expense? You need to answer all these questions. So from the narration I gave, you will agree with me that the startup phase can be very difficult. It can be very, very difficult. It can be very difficult. It's not an easy one. But what you're expected to focus at this stage is to establish relationship with customers and establishing the business in the market, along with maintaining and checking the cash flow. I've mentioned market introduction because nobody really knows you in the industry. Nobody really knows you in the industry. So you're talking about market introduction. I remember those days we tried to market our services. Even the people you thought will encourage you, they will just encourage you by words, because nobody knows you. Nobody knows you. But the moment you begin to gain the numbers, we'll get to that stage. So startup stage can be very, very very challenging. You pay attention, how will you get a fund? How will you be able to sustain? Who are the people, who are your targets? Your target markets. You must know all about this. And then the fund you need in order to sail through this phase is important. I'll go to the next stage, but I will still come back to talk about startup and scaling up. I'll just link them together because that's my real goal. That's my real goal. Phase 3, which is the growth phase. At growth phase is characterized by rapid sales, increased sales. This is because customers are more aware of the business and now know it has products that will meet their needs. At this stage, you increase sales. It is characterized by increased sales. It also comes with its challenges. I've been through these stages. One thing you need to note for the startup stage is it is at the stage where you say yes to everybody and to everything. You say yes to everybody and to everything. The reason is because you have not made a name. You are just trying to gain the conviction of people and loyalty of your customer. So anybody can call you, anybody can engage you, anybody can subscribe for your service. That happens at startup. You will want to serve everybody. But beyond this stage, you gain capacity. Now, growth stage. At this phase now, people have begun to know you. Your service or your product has been tested by few people. Like I mentioned, when we were at startup, even the people that tried patronizing our service were discouraged by other business associates because they want to answer this question: who is this person? When did he come into this industry? What has he been able to achieve? Does he have the capacity to weather the storm if the challenges comes? But as God will help us, like our Dyson pastor speak, that diligence is the mother of luck. Diligence is the mother of luck. I knew nights we don't sleep. We keep thinking. We keep fine-tuning our strategy. We keep fine-tuning our money management system. We keep fine-tuning our mentality with which we go into the business. Permit me to also digress a bit. For your business to really be successful, there are key elements that you must incorporate. Number one is the mentality with which you are getting into that business. It's very key. It's very key. The mentality with which I entered the first business was to be an information hub in that industry. Money was not my motivation. So whatsoever that I will do that will project that goal or vision, I will do it. Even when I will be spending more money in order to prove my position and value in the industry. In fact, most of the clients that we had, they consulted us for free. It was for free. They were having challenges with other principal partners that they were doing business with and didn't know how to pull through the transaction. They came to us. We offered that service for free because it was part of our agenda to be an information hub. And the goal is that there's no question within our industry that we will not be able to answer. At maximum, 1 or 2 phone calls away, we give you the answer. That has been our goal. So your mentality about getting into the business must be defined, which is key. Secondly, is you must have a strategy. You must have a strategy. Sorry, I'm just digressing. This ought to be at the C stage. You must have a strategy. You must have a strategy. How you intend to penetrate the market. You don't just get into a business without a strategy. You must have a strategy. We had our strategy. They can be flexible as the business grows, but the goal or the vision remains fixed. We had our strategy, and that worked for us. When we began to do our deliveries in the course of our business engagement, people were surprised. Is this thing possible? They say it's luck. Another person say, let's try. The next person that tries say, it's like it's luck. And then people began to do referral for us for free. People began to do the marketing for free because we were hitting at our strategy. But as we progressed in the business, we wanted to scale. So we had to change our strategy. For you to advance, you continue with the same process, the same strategy, thinking you can advance your cause, you are just deceiving yourself. So there was one of the training that I attended. The summary of that training was just to add a strategy to the current strategy that we had then. And that strategy was able to give us an equity that is over $1.5 million as we speak. That strategy works and works. So you need a strategy. I've mentioned 3 things. And thirdly, you also need money management skill. Money management skill. You need it. So as to be able to effectively utilize the fund that is made available for you. You will know how to deploy the little fund that is within your disposal. You prioritize your expenditures. You prioritize. You have your preference. You know the things that you attend to first. So, growth stage. These are the things that will trigger growth. Now, when you begin to grow, it means that people are patronizing you. People are patronizing you. Now, from my experience, the moment your service has gained acceptance in the market, what comes to you is serious pressure. I told the people that are very close to me that while we were praying to God, for blessing, I told him that I will not blaspheme. And that in the course of doing business, I've come to know and I've understood that as business begins to grow, if you have not taken a decision not to blaspheme, you will ask God, why me? The essence of why me is because the business is growing with the rate at which that you're not ready. You're not prepared. In fact, there was a time about 3 to 4 years ago that we experienced such surge that would have killed our business. We were almost going extinct because we were not able to manage the growth. When I checked our books, in fact, if we sell the whole equity we have in the world, we will still be in several minus. Then we had to begin to invest in capacity development. You are doing business, but at the end of the day, you are incurring losses. You are closing deals, but at the end of the day, you are incurring losses. The reason is because, one, you've not built capacity. So delivery time, you will not deliver at the right time. Then if there is anything like litigation, you pay for not delivering on time and stuff like that. So we had to build capacity, growth phase. So at this point, sales will be increasing. Sales will be increasing. And at this stage also, which is related or relatively to where you are now scaling your business, where you're scaling your business, you don't say yes to everyone and to everything. You now begin to learn when to say yes and when to say no. Some of my staffs, when they hear me over the phone while we are making business conversation, they will be somehow shocked. Why are you turning down business? The reason is because you know the stage where you are in business. For example, you want to fly to the US, you decide to go through Lufthansa or Ethiopian Airlines. You know that the prices, the airfare is not the same. You know why? Different airlines have chosen whom they want to serve, true or false. So we are trying to position ourselves like that because we know we deliver value. We know that we are delivering value. So we don't just want everybody to come and assess our service, because that will put us on the minus. Now, we are positioning ourselves to service the real people. He said, a diligent man will not deal with mere men. We deal with what kind of people? That's the kind of projection that we are making. So at growth phase, for you not to experience most of these things, you begin to learn when to say yes and when to say no to some certain offers. Because at this phase, a lot of things will happen. Business will increase, revenue will increase, customer will increase, and it will open up several opportunities, positive cash flow, and then need for more partners. Stage 4, phase 4, which is established. Established is just a senior cousin to growth. Established. At this stage, the business has gained majority and has strived to become a big company. It has created a stable place and loyal customers in the market. How I do that test? Many a times I have some people that they are trying to engage me on business conversation. I'll put them on hold some 3 days, some 1 week, and they will wait. That's how I know that you've gotten loyal customer. So when you are established, you will hit that point. People will say, we will wait for you because we know what you represent. Even if you spend 2 days or 3 days, you know what you're doing. They will just give you benefit of the doubt that you know what you're doing. So at this stage, you have gotten loyal customers in the market or in the industry. But the business owner cannot take a rest. Rather, he needs to focus on achieving something bigger. Therefore, reevaluate and assesses his plan. For the fact that people are loyal to your service or product doesn't mean that you should now go and sleep, that you've conquered the market. No. You need to think bigger. You need to reevaluate and reassess your plan. That is what even necessitates you scaling up. The essence of scaling up is not just for you to have more revenue. No, so that you can reach out to more people. Have more grounds open. I'm running. To be able to truly keep up with the growing competition in the market, the business will look into the inclusion of the best business practice, such as automation, outsourcing of the business to enhance productivity, automation, such that you don't come back to solve the same problem every now and again yourself. There is need for you to build a system and a structure, such that even if you are not there, your staffs can go through the system that has been produced by you. They consult the system and run the process without your direct engagement in the course of the business. Like as we speak, business is still going on in my office even now, because there is a system on ground. Everybody knows what to do. Even at night, people work even at night because there is a system. So if your shift falls in the night, I don't need to stay up in the night. People knows what to do at night. So by building system, you are not just trying to gain more fun, but you are buying more quality time for yourself to engage much more on strategic planning. I've come to learn that the greatest place of business is not in operation, but in strategy. So if you are always involved in day-to-day routine of your business, you are not doing the best practice. So there is need for you to engage in business practice and automation that will enhance productivity. Also, outsourcing. My time is running, but I'm almost there. Outsourcing. What I will explain about outsourcing, there are a level of negotiation that goes on in my industry. And though I am the CEO or the MD, but I know that by training, I've not built such level of negotiation skill. So we outsource that to people that are experts. If I tell you the amount we pay somebody monthly for that, you will shout. But you know, at the end of the day, we gain much more. We outsource some things. I remember one of the days I interfaced a particular individual. We usually engage some skilled people to interface them. So when they saw me, they say, you, this small boy. They say, "Now him be the oga." So you can understand the impression my size would have played if I was to go and do that negotiation. But because we will always project people that we know, they are skilled, they are mature, they are experienced. We pay their fee. Sometimes we pay to the tune of 1.5 just for a negotiation. You know how much we get at the end of the day. So there is need for you to outsource. You don't just do everything yourself. You know, people think that you are the boss when you are the one running up and down. No, you are not the boss. You are the errand boy. If you're the boss, you sit at a spot and coordinate the activity. Before you leave your office, it must be a critical issue. People are much interested in getting involved in routines instead of setting up structure. That's where I enjoy the most, setting up structure and developing system. So at this point, at established point, these things, you need them so that you can effectively participate at phase 5. Phase 5 is expansion. 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 Maybe you started in Lagos, but you've seen that the market in Lagos has been conquered. Your system and structure is already working. You don't just sit back. There is need for you to scatter the same experience from places to places, even beyond the shores of this country. At this stage, the business owner looks into new opportunities and markets. One of the challenges is to plan and research new market opportunity. So at this point, you begin to look into new markets, new products, also look into experts, new clients. You begin to look into that. Like one of the industries we're into, we've seen the kind of impact we've made, then we are borrowing the systems and we are planting it into some other industries that we are mentioned. And we know with the same structure, with the same vision, with the same strategy with which we're able to grow this one, we will also grow the other ones. So at this stage, you begin to look into new opportunities. New opportunities. New opportunities. You started with this, but you can always enhance or expand your vision or your goalposts. You can adjust it in the course of doing business. Expanding the business opportunity may be a tricky solution, and the business owner has to select the location of new business venture after a detailed analysis. So it's a tricky one. You don't just start. Some clients will say, we need you at Port Harcourt. Some say we need you at Kanu. Some say we need you so and so place. You don't just venture because they are calling you. It's a very tricky one. Very, very tricky one. But at expansion, this is what is expected of you. But you do your due diligence before you do that. Now, 6th phase is the decline phase. At this stage, sales begins to decrease slowly. Profit margins get thinner, while cash flow stays relatively stagnant. It's like things are just every day, you are just getting the same stuff. Things are not as progressive as they were. Supporting the negative cash flow is one of the biggest problems faced by business owners at this phase. At this phase, a lot of losses, many a times, is being observed. At the decline phase, the growth in sales levels off. The business is selling the same value of product year after year. The reason for this is simply that the market for the product is saturated. Is saturated. For example, everyone who wants a plasma television set has one. The only sales that will be made will be for the ones that are trying to replace or people that wants to get a new one. So you discover that at such point, business is slow. I have a business partner that they bring in some certain things. For almost 6 months now, sales of that product has been very, very slow. I know why. Because of the kind of commodity. So at this phase, sales begins to decline. It is a signal for you to begin to prepare your exit. It's quite unfortunate. One of the days I told our coordinator that at so age, I'll be exiting. He said, why? I said, it is part of business life cycle. You must plan your exit. You are not going to stay there forever. So decline can inform you planning your exit. You exit the business either by transferring ownership of the business to another people that have the vision, that can project it to the next level, or you outrightly go and sell it at the public market if you have been able to build a structure. Our pastor may teach us that one very well, Pastor Nandi, how you can go public. If you have been able to structure your business and you want to exit, you can go into the public market and offer shares to people. People buy rights into your business, buy shares into your business, and thereby you exit the business. Summarily, scaling up your business can be likened to you climbing Mount Everest. It's not an easy thing. It is something that will take determination. Therefore, you will need the following. 1, vision and discipline that will drive flawless execution. 2, you will provide excellent leadership that will attract and keep the best people. 4, specialized strategy. That is a product of proper planning. 5, passion and determination, taking consistent action. And lastly, you will need fund. I know that this few information that I've given us will help us to take our business to the next level. Thank you and God bless you.